Hey guys, it's John here from Sonic Drive Studio. Thank you so much for tuning into the channel. In today's video, we're going to compare my Line 6 Helix Rack to my Fractal Audio XFX3 to my PRS MT15 tube amplifier, but with a very specific tone in mind, a high gain 8-string guitar tone. I came up with this fun little concept when I was working on my demo/review video for this ESP LTD SC608B Stephen Carpenter 8-string baritone guitar. It's a really kick-ass guitar, and if you haven't seen that video, please check the description below for the link. So I was working on that video with this guitar, and this guitar was sounding awesome with my Helix Rack, but I couldn't help but wonder how it would sound with my XFX and or a tube amp. And just to echo what I said in the demo video, it's an amazing guitar. I really love it. So this guitar has 8 strings. It's also a baritone scale guitar, so that means that the scale length of this guitar is longer than normal to accommodate the lower tunings. This one is 27 inches long, which is quite common for a lot of 8-string guitars. This guitar also has a neck-through design, so it has a very solid sound. And this guitar is equipped with the Stephen Carpenter Fishman signature pickups. I really love those pickups. To me, they sound awesome. So yeah, I basically wrote a couple of riffs on this beautiful guitar, and now we're gonna see how that sounds through my Helix, XFX, and MT15 tube amp. So just keep in mind that this is not a super scientific test. The goal here was just to have some fun and to see how the riffs on this 8-string guitar would sound through those 3 platforms. I tried to dial the platforms in a way that just pleased my ear, so I did not spend a lot of time trying to mimic the tones of the platforms to each other. Now there are some major consistencies between each platform in this comparison. Number 1 is the fact that I'm using the same own-hammer impulse response for each single platform and take, just to keep that factor consistent because cab IRs have a huge impact on a guitar tone. I'm using the OH1-05 mix from the M25 speaker option in the 212 ORNG. Okay, let's go ahead with the comparison. We're gonna start with the Line 6 Helix Rack, which is also the platform that I ended up using for the demo/review video of this 8-string guitar. The signal chain and path of this preset is very simple, and it contains only 3 blocks. The first block in the chain is a simple graphic equalizer that I'm just using to gently shape the tone of the guitar going into the amplifier. In this case, I'm using it to just gently scoop out a little bit of lows and to raise the upper mids a little bit to enhance the bite of the guitar. That's going into the Line 6 Badonk amplifier model that we all know and love so well, especially for metal, and for me especially for 8-string guitar tones. I think it sounds awesome and I use it a lot, so that was a very obvious choice for me. And from there on, we're going into the high resolution IR block with the IR that I just mentioned. Let's take a listen to this platform in a full band context. Here we go. Okay, that sounded pretty great. Now let's move on to the Fractal Audio XFX3 with the latest firmware, which at this time is 12.11. So the signal path for this preset is also very simple and basic. We're not using an equalizer going into the amp this time. We're using just the DAS Metal amp model going into a cab block with the same IR. So now let's listen to this platform in a full band context. Here we go. Alright, that also sounded pretty good. Now we're going to check out the analog PRS MT15 tube amplifier. Some of you might wonder why I chose the MT15 for this particular comparison, and the reason is very simple. I just went on my Sonic Drive Studio Facebook page where I asked you guys which amp you wanted to see me use with an 8-string guitar, and a lot of you guys mentioned the MT15, so that's why I used this amplifier. So we're starting off the chain with my MXR 10-band equalizer, and I'm using that for the exact same purpose as I did on my Helix preset. That's going into the lead channel of the MT15, and the settings that I used can be seen on screen right now. And from the speaker output jack of the amp, we're going into the Fractal Audio LB2 reactive load box. So we're using that to load down the amplifier, and of course I used the same IR as with the other two platforms. Let's go ahead and take a listen to this real tube amplifier. Alright, that also sounded great to me. So far, all three platforms have been performing very well in this test. Now let's listen to a back-to-back comparison also in full band context. So what I'm gonna do is just switch between the platform while the song plays. Let's go ahead and listen right now. Alright, I think that was pretty interesting indeed. The platforms still sound pretty close to one another, even though this test isn't super scientific as I explained before, and of course these amp models and this amp were not meant to sound exactly the same. But of course we do have to keep in mind that it's the same player playing the riff each time, it's the same guitar, the same pickups and the exact same take each time. Not to mention the fact that I used the same IR for each take, of course. So we do have to keep in mind that the results can be very consistent because of all those factors. And now we're going to check out an A-B or back-to-back comparison with the guitars in an isolated setting so the drums and bass are turned off, just so you can listen to the differences between the platforms and the amp even closer. Here we go. Alright, that was also very interesting. I think they all sounded great, and I think it's really hard to pick a favorite, to be honest. Perhaps one of the platforms really stood out to your ears, or perhaps you hated one of them for some reason. I would love to know why, of course, so don't forget to drop a comment in the comment section down below. And also please hit subscribe along with the notification bell. And you can also follow Sonic Drive Studio on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers!